tonight I based it on, from a concept to a form. You often, as an artist, you'll have a source that you'll think, okay, I've got a concept, I've seen something I really like, now I need to move it into a form. Here I have selected the colours of the bark of a gum tree when I was out walking somewhere, and then the totem poles that I've made. Now we're swapping quickly to the baobab tree. I travelled up into the north and I saw these baobab trees and I went, oh wow, that's really cool. And I was on a bus tour, camping, and everyone was talking. And I found how you talk. Sometimes you don't have to talk visually, you can talk by your hand, by your visual look. And how you actually visually perceive. So now I started making the forms. So this is a group of 3 talking. The middle one is lovers. And the second one is, well, you can be mother and father and I'm not going to listen to you anyway. And so this is what I sort of had. It's the body, gives you a body of your human form, and then the appendage to wander off to wherever you want to go to. Another aspect of it, here is where I've just taken from a different angles. So because you look directly at an object, doesn't mean to say that's the only way you should view the object. Sometimes you can look above it, underneath, like laying down the bottom of the baobab tree, looking up and going, wow, there's so many patterns and so many exotic things that just erupt in my brain. And so then, this is some more that I played around with. So you can see here, you've got a recessive female, dominant male. He's going to weave his way through to what she doesn't want to do. Or whatever. It's how your mind interprets how you place them. And it was the best thing is I had, okay, next one. I talk about my work well, very passionate. Okay, now we're going into landscape. I suck at drawing landscape, but I do beautiful stuff. But I love photographing. I'm not good at photographing either yet, but I'm going to get there. So I look here at the tonal values, I look at the forms that's there. Then I think, okay, now what am I going to do with it? I draw it, and I'm a whimsical drawer. Then I start making totem poles. Totem poles for me was representing I lost a friend, and who hasn't lost a friend to cancer, death, accident, something like that. And I started looking at my life in modules. But my spirit I wanted to share my spirit with her and with people who pass on. So here I go, totem poles. Up in Northern Territory somewhere, I don't know now, don't remember many things, some drawings. I had a friend who wanted me to make them Aboriginal totem poles. I'm not Aboriginal. I felt like I was being deceitful. I travelled on a plane somewhere, sat next to an Aboriginal, told me my problem. He said, you just come back from Japan, you don't have a problem doing Japanese ones. What's your problem? I said, I don't know. Went home and made about 6 of them. They just poured out of me. And so all the designs are mine. Recently I did this exhibition up in Mudgee with an Aboriginal artist. And so you can see, yes, I was born on a farm, delivered by my father on the family farm. So I believe I'm slightly Australian. Travelled to Japan. Here I love the peacefulness of the temples. I'm probably a Christian, but I really do enjoy essence of other religions when there are positive aspects in you. So I love the roofs and peacefulness. And so then you can see the totem poles. Here we go, totem poles again. And then in the gardens, the beautiful gardens, they're peaceful, you walk through them, no matter what has stressed you that day. As soon as you walk in one of their pristine gardens, peace comes within. And so that's another version. The closer one is of the roofs and how I interpret what I want to tell you about my trip to Japan. And these are mostly more Japanese type ones. And the essence is from the roofs, the colours of the gardens, the colours of the buildings at times, and how they, when you're in Tokyo, it's compact living. But it's nice. You know, every room is based on a tatami mat. This is another lot of totem poles. I made these ones. The far left one was very tribal. It's one of my first ones I made. It was the gut primitive reaction to the loss of my friend. I had to have depth to how I feel, strength to move on, and I just tried to get it together. Now you move to my garden. I love my garden. I have a very big garden and I have a lot of birds. So hence I photographed the birds and then I drew the bird. I drew a section of birds and I took them to Tokyo when I went to visit my son. My son lives in Roppongi Hills where PechaKucha was actually created. Here I then put them into three-dimensional form. I'm still in a spiritual thing, trying to seek some sort of spiritual thing after the death of my friend. My friend really affected me a fair bit. And so these are morphic birds now, because they're one cylinder, you know, I had to join two things together, but then to actually fire them, you have to have a hole in them. So the holes are down their centre back, which is really good to put incense in to burn. So I thought that was very functional, because that smoke goes up to the heavens as well. Here you can just view what you want to view. There's a mother and two daughters, three daughters, or sons. I always say daughters, I don't know why. And then you have like two juveniles. Now we're going into another section I do. Does anyone remember Larry Prickering? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I really love Whitlam, Gough Whitlam, what's it called? You know, McMahon, Malcolm Fraser and Gough Whitlam era. So this was an exhibition I did with a friend called Scum Sucker Bottom Feeders. And it was mainly to actually rip off politicians. So here you can actually view these. This is how I created some of the forms. I drew them, trying to work out how weird I wanted them. Then I started to make them. And then I tried to not totally look like, but then you can pick them now. You can pick Gough Whitlam, Malcolm Fraser, and Billy McMahon. Hopefully you can find them. It's your choice if how you want to do them. But yeah, that's they're very comical, whimsical, and that's what I actually enjoy doing when I do my artwork. And this is me sitting very high up in some Japanese Alps. I think it's 3,200 metres above sea level. But I put this in so you can see when you actually get